Good morning, good morning. When you wake up in the morning and it rains, what do? You take all your pot plants out. Because what is nicer for a stuffy pot plant to get in the rain? And the same with you. Get out. Get into the rain. Enjoy it. Live a little. So here I am. I woke up. I saw it was raining. And first thing comes first. Immediately I am watering all my pot plants. I just dunk them into my pond, fish pond, to clean them nicely. And then I put them on my little table in the rain. It's nice, soft rain coming down. And voila! My plants are going to the spa this morning. You can see my peas in the homes. I even brought them out. Aren't they just absolutely gorgeous? So I thought, you know what, they really need some rain. This one looks a little bit dry this morning. Then look at my arum lily, looking so great. So this is outside, and then there are so many more plants inside that I need to bring out. Let me show you this one. Oh gosh. This is a huge one. It's a fern. It's absolutely gorgeous. Where did that one come from? It's such an awesome story. That fern, or let's say generations past, that fern was growing on my grandmother's stoep in Middelburg where they were living. So when she passed on, my mother took the fern, and then after my mother passed on, I got the fern. So that one is generations old. I mean, let's say I replanted it a couple of times, and I'm sure my mother did, and my grandmother, but this is a little piece of my grandmother that I am nourishing. Isn't it awesome? And this plant is in a pot right in front of me. When my dad, he had dementia during the last couple of months before he passed, and I will never forget it. I was there. He was very sick at that stage, and he was sitting in the little sun on a bench in front of their flatlet, and this plant was just overgrown with the most beautiful pink flowers. And all my dad said is, "Oh, isn't this so gorgeous?" Oh, he adored my mother. And he said, "Isn't your mother just a miracle worker? Just look at the plant, overgrown with flowers." He was so impressed with the plant because of my mother. So when Mom passed, the last thing I loaded on our little trailer that we went there with was this plant. I just couldn't leave it because it is such fond memories of my parents and the love that they had for each other. I mean, the admiration that my dad just had for my mum via this plant. So here this plant is. So I believe I got my green fingers from my mother and my grandmother, and you can see why. And I just love pottering in my garden. And we live in a very, very dry area, not much rain. So when the rain comes down, first thing I do is get all my pot plants out. I think this is just the third. So I will be doing this the rest of the day. And this is the way that I can just give them some love and nourishment and whatever. So thank you that I can share my plant journey with you this morning. First thing, got dressed, ran out in the rain. You can see my hair. Just loving it, or just welcoming. Oh, and I read another thing this morning. Stop creating problems. And that really, really, really spoke to me very deeply. You know, in my previous video, I told you I've got a mole in my front garden. And when I read that, don't create problems for you, because where do you create them? In your mind. I got a mole. That is just a fact. It's not positive or negative. It just is what it is. But the minute I start to see that whole situation as a problem, that's how I create the problem. You know, that's what we do. Things happen, life happens, and immediately we judge it either as good or bad, and then the minute we see it as bad, it becomes, we create a problem. So we focus on it and we fight it and we whatever, and the more energy we give it, the more it just accumulates, grows, and becomes a massive thing. So yes, I'm not saying I don't have a mole in my garden, but I'm not going to make it a problem. I'm just going to deal with it day by day, moment by moment, as the Spirit in me leads me in that moment. And that's how we're supposed to live our lives. By just allowing the life in us, moment by moment, to flow through us and showing us our next step. So, I am no longer going to create problems. I am just going to be an observer to see how situations in my life are going to unfold. Like the mole situation. This morning when I went out in my garden, there was no new heaps of sand. So this is today. No heaps of sand, nothing to deal with. It is what it is. So I'm just living my life without a mole problem. Yes, with a mole, but not a problem. So enjoy your day. Stop creating problems for yourself and just learn to go with the flow of the life in you. As the life leads and shows and provides for you, the life is in us, around us, all over. All that we need is the life. And we've got it. The abundant, everlasting life is in us, flowing through us. We are life, spirit, with a body. We're not a body with a spirit. We are spirit, part of the spirit of life, our Father's life, the life within us. And that spirit leads, provides, and shows us the way in the now, in the moment, moment by moment. So there are no problems. We just live and allow the life in us to show us what to do in this moment without creating problems in our minds and then running ahead and, trying to solve it now and blah, blah, blah. No, things work itself out. All we need to do is just learn to go with it. Love you lots, is said from Zetster's Lab.